Yes, yes, yes. What is good, my people? Welcome back to Computer Music Academy's weekly homework podcast. I am your host, Taharka. Thank you for watching and thank you for listening. Welcome to week 61 of the weekly homework assignment / podcast. Man, I'm excited for this week. What are we doing? We are honoring one of the greatest living legends. He's still here with us. I'm very happy about that. But one of the greatest musicians of all time to cross many different genres. I mean, of course, jazz. Got off into a little R&B, a little funk and soul, a little classical for like soundtracks and stuff like that. Even blues. I mean, this dude has done a little bit of everything. I'm speaking of none other than the great Herbie Hancock, a man who has close to over 50 years in the game, around about somewhere in that area. Insane catalog. And we're honoring him. We're just basically, it's one of two things. We're taking either some of his music, that he gave us and recreating some music, to honor him, or for those of us who are actually more musically inclined, or who do a lot of instrumentation, creating a Herbie Hancock-esque dedication. And we actually have 6 submissions this week. I'm ready to get to them all. First and foremost, our man who, when he participates, he normally ends up in the first spot. I have yet to see him go anywhere else. He's normally getting his submission in like Wednesday, Thursday, and that is excellent. My man, N95. Let's go.
Where I make beats every day.
Scotland represent N95. That dude is nuts, man. Now he used we've been talking back and forth, as I do with a lot of the members. We actually kick it on a regular basis. And he invested in a Roland SP404SX, if I'm not mistaken, a few weeks back, and he's been getting to know that and use that. And for anybody that doesn't know, it's a standalone unit. I don't think it connects to the computer at all, not even just sending data back. I don't even think it does that. But if I remember correctly, it saves everything to like a compact flash. And I remember when I used to work at Guitar Center actually selling these things, but I never knew how to use them. I thought they were just kind of, for the lack of a better term, no offense to anybody, I thought they were kind of toys. But he and several other people have been using these things, and I've been listening to what they've been creating. And I'm like, man, I had no idea that this stuff had that capability because, they really don't demonstrate that stuff. But he's been using that for his last his last few beats that I've heard of his. And this dude is killing it. I mean, he's mostly like a machine, and I think he also used Fruity Loops for some of his stuff, and now he's using the SP404. Dude is killing it. He used a song called Spiraling Prism. I think that's the name of it by Herbie Hancock. This dude is nasty. I loved everything about that track. The mixing was on point. I love the sample. I love the filtering and the different sections that he used of the song. And there's actually different oscillating or speeds of the filter that he's using, which is sweet as well. Really loving what N95 is doing. So shout out for that, my man. Moving right along to a gentleman who normally comes in second, our man down in South Carolina, DJ Nocturnal. Let's go.
Listen, music is my life. It's alive. This is my greatest creation.
DJ Nocturnal. Oh my. This dude is getting better and better every single week. Whoo, that was nuts. Now, before any of you who don't know any better criticize him for that, which kind of sounds like electronic, kind of break dance music, remember, there was a period in the early 80s, I want to say around like 84, 85, I could be wrong, where he did that kind of stuff. The song in particular would be Rocket. That was the very first Herbie Hancock song I ever heard. I'm like, this dude is nuts. As a young child, I was a fan of his. And then you go back later and you realize he has this legacy of jazz music and like I said, some blues and some soul and R&B even before he got to that period. And that's what I love about Herbie is the fact that this dude has reinvented himself so many times and then came back to jazz and he's still respected in all the areas, all the genres he's touched. Insane. That track was nasty. Oh my God. He said he was envisioning that was more of an organic tribute, you know. And of course it was of that era, but he was actually envisioning two Herbie Hancocks battling each other in that time period when Herbie was making that kind of music. That is insane. Excellent job, Locke. Dang. Woo, killing it, killing it, killing it. All right, moving on to our man from Chicago, Taharka. Let's see what you got. Ooh, Taharka doing his thing for week number 61. Yo, you know what I really like about Taharka? I like his minimalist approach to how he makes beats because he doesn't use an incredible amount of instruments or samples for that matter, but everything he uses and what he uses is effective. It has its own space. You can hear everything and it's effective. It captures, at least me. Hopefully it does the same to you. I really, really love his approach. I love the use of his acoustic drums, and then he used a little reverb on them this time. I love the use of the sample, which was Mimosa by Mr. Hancock. And I like the way he flipped it in certain parts. He had filters, he had fade outs and drops. That's what I'm talking about, man. Whew. And the other thing about it is, you know, he plays for his school's football, well, soccer team, if I remember correctly, and he's out of town at the moment on a tour, and he sent that from me. He said he was creating that from his hotel room, which is crazy. But yeah, that was dope. I really, really like the direction that Taharka is going with his music. I really do. One thing I would advise, and this is not a diss or anything negative at all. I really like his drums. I would like to see you do a little bit something a little bit different as far as dynamics and effects with them. You know, as far as like maybe down sampling or something like that. Kind of give your drums a different edge for, I'm not saying for every song, but every song, you know, try to give them a different feel for every song, especially depending on if you're doing instrumentation or you're using samples. If it has a different feel, get those drums to back it up. I love the drums. Not saying anything about bad about the drums at all, but just kind of play around with them, stack them, and do some extra, you know, some other things with them. Tune them, EQ them certain ways, and see what you can get out of them. That's definitely going to add more of a greater effect to the beat, if you ask me. But shout out for that submission, dude. All right, now, moving on to our man in Oregon, all killer, no filler. Ladies and gentlemen, Nelson Mandela.
Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Mr. Herbie Hancock.
Really a great thrill to play with these friends of mine.
Nelson Mandela, ladies and gentlemen, the man. Oh my God. That was sickening. I like, you know, Nelson. Nelson is way over there. And this is, I have to say, probably his most laid back track. Now, aside from the insaneness towards the end, which was excellent. I love that. But this was just in my, what I've heard, and wow, getting close to a year of having Nelson. This is his most laid back track, and it sounds incredible. I love how he used his samples, and he used a number of them. He says, "Round midnight, good question, maiden voyage. Tell me a bedtime story." So yeah, he used a nice amount of samples, and I like how he laid it all out. Everything is clear, everything is present. I loved it. There's nothing more to say about it. It's going to be something sickening because it's Nelson, and he had to have that. He had to have that in there. That was stupid. So excellent job, my man. All right. Moving on to our man in the UK, who actually has the perfect last name that ties to this particular subject. Ladies and gentlemen, Crooked Mystery Jazz. I'm done. I'm shutting down the show. Screw this, man. Crooked Mystery Jazz. Holy crap, dude. Wow. Definitely one of the top CMJ tracks ever created. Not just submitted, ever created. Because I've heard a nice amount of his stuff outside of CMA before he got with CMA and so on. That was sick. Jazz has been in this evolutionary, is that the term? Period. Where he is just really, really, not to say he hasn't been himself, but he's really coming into his own as a musician now. And if you listen to these last, I don't know, say 4 or 5, about the last 4 or 5 submissions, he's just getting stronger, and more insane with each submission. This is no exception, dude. This is sickening. He actually used a couple different songs, one of which was Give It All Your Heart featuring Patrice Rushen. The other is if you're a Slum Village fan, you will recognize Running Back to Me, that rest in peace Jay Dilla, that he flipped the crap out of for Get This Money. But Jazz is nuts. He is insane. Something is wrong with this dude. Somebody go check on him. I need Nymus or Legacy to go check on this dude. I know 95 is close by in Scotland. Go check on this dude. Check his temperature. Make sure that he's okay. Because this is insane, dude. Excellent job, my man. Nothing but massive thumbs up. And especially, he's saying he's doing a little bit more editing now in his DAW, as far as, doing effects and transitions and stuff like that. And yeah, you can tell. So keep doing what you're doing, Jazz. Please, 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 please. And now to our final submission of the week. One that I'm greatly anticipating hearing, simply because this man is talking a lot of crap. My man, Double Negative. Let's do it.
Double negative, double negative, double negative, double negative, double negative, double.
Our man Double Negative closing out week number 61 of the weekly homework podcast / assignment. And let me make a quick correction real quick, or retraction. I was actually just in the last segment when I was speaking, I was accidentally reading from reading from Negative's submission for Jazz. Negative actually used the joint with Patrice Rushen, so my apologies on that. But definitely doesn't take anything away from Jazz. A Negative submission. That's it. Wow. definitely one of the best. Definitely. I like the way he flipped it. I like the use of everything. I like the main sample and a couple of different other samples that were going in there. Little, transitional elements. I mean, everything. It's just sickening, dude. There's nothing else that needs to be said about it. All right, you made a dope track this week, so shut up, dude. Nah, I'm messing with him. Yo, shout out to the great Herbie Hancock, who is in his 70s now and still performs on a regular basis. Plus, he teaches. Plus, so many other things that this dude has his hand in. He, if you ask me, is very synonymous with cats like Quincy Jones and a couple of other people I just can't bring up the top of my head at the moment, but who has their hands in a little bit of everything, and they're still out in their, some people would say their later years, out here still creating music, still touring, and still contributing goodness, greatness to the world. So thank you for that, Mr. Hancock. And thank you to everybody that submitted this week. Double Negative, Crooked Mystery Jazz, Nelson Mandela, Taharka, DJ Locturno, and N95. And thank you for watching, supporting, sharing our videos, commenting, and just being a part of what we do every single week. If you would like to be a part of what we do, come on over to computermusicacademy.com and join us. It is that damn simple. I'm done for the week. We will talk to you next time. See ya!